Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Good Morning YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. No matter where you're watching, it's a phenomenal day to get book solid. Sean Dill, Lacey Book, and the amazing David Meltzer in the house here to help you to get book solid. David, good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Oh my God, I'm so excited, especially because we have Lacey here to carry us. It's been a long last episode with just you and I, and I'm super excited to be here.
I know.
Me too.
I've been all over her, getting her to get on the show. Told her we can't keep carrying her every week.
Listen, well, I'm back. Everything, all is right in the world now, so we can.
Well, I know the problem is that Lacey actually knows how to get herself book solid, so she didn't have time for us.
It's true. I was completely book solid. I was like, I can't even make it onto the show.
Exactly. It's a testament to your skills.
There you go. That's right.
Well, speaking of that, I know that you've been on a tremendous run. Last week, we talked about your show at the YouTube Theater, the collab. We had a breakdown, lessons learned, and then right into it, you went right into filming of 2 Minute Drill. Then right from there, headed off to Las Vegas, the debut of the new podcast studio space at the Palazzo. And then right from there, a little rest, recharge, and recovery. I want to talk a little bit about that because, listen, entrepreneurs, we talk a lot about getting book solid. We talk a lot about hustle and grind, but we don't really talk about energetic capacity, energetic outflow, and our necessity to recover. And I would love to hear from you to start out, from a man who just keeps his calendar packed full of money, of activities you get paid for, money-making activities, and activities that you don't get paid for. So somebody who spends time with his family, spends time, loves to go and see his son Miles play football and participate in other sport activities, spends time with his wife. Talk to us about how we juggle not just the calendar, but what about our energetic balance, our energetic outflow, and our recovery?
Yeah, and it's under the context of get booked solid. It's not just booking yourself solid with activities that you have planned. It's not just getting yourself booked solid with activities you get paid for. In fact, Wednesday, I'm hosting another TV show all day. I'll be in studio for GoFundMe, which is a reggae show with Marketplace Live, and you're and my friend Michael Chandler's coming out, and James Maslow to be the celebrity hosts on that show. So that's Wednesday before I go to Vegas. But, you know, the idea is to book yourself solid every day with your non-negotiables first. And ironically, most of my non-negotiables, only a minimum amount of time is activity I get paid for every day. Only a minimum amount of time. Most of it is my health, my family, the vacation time that I take. Those are the non-negotiable things because I know the exponentiality of it. I also have learned that just because I can do it, it's not right for everyone else. And so the idea of what is right for you to make sure you get the appropriate recovery and access to the information that you receive when you recover. This is a key distinction. It's not, you got to be like Dave Meltzer. You got to be book solid for 16 hours, or it would be 17 hours a day. I'm book solid because I book my relaxation. But the idea is this: start backwards and say recovery and access to information is most important. What do I need to do to get myself book solid every day to recover and access information to utilize in all of the other activities that most people prioritize, and then they damage themselves in the idea that they diminish their capacity either at a slow residual impact, or they don't receive the information, the awareness that they need in order to make life easy. In other words, they're living in dis-ease instead of ease.
I think that that's really powerful. And I talk to so many entrepreneurs, and I'm sure you do as well, that have so much guilt, shame, and blame around slowing down, as they call it, right? And it's something I hear it all the time. Well, if I slow down, then what's going to happen to my business? If I slow down, I might lose my momentum. I might not make as much money. And so there's a lot of guilt around that. And I think it's really difficult for people to reconcile that slowing down is a necessity and a part of being able to have momentum and speed on the other side. So what do you think, about this concept of slowing down?
Well, I think it's interesting too. I mean, and I love these lessons because I was even hearing in David's voice in our sort of green room there. We're off from Vegas. We're going to take a couple of days in Napa, and Dave has so many things going on, and he was like, "Oh, I don't get to do this." And one of the things that I think is on the other side of gratitude, Dave talks a lot about, right, in the morning and at night. On the other side of that is the ability to say no, right? So we have to exercise gratitude for all of the abundance, all that we're being given, and all that we have yet to be given, right? You and I just talked about how we're going to be in Vegas. If you go to the Wynn Buffet and you look at that incredible spread, that is an abundant spread of food. However, you actually couldn't even eat all of the food. You couldn't even sample one of everything. It's just too much. So just because we live in a world of abundance, that doesn't mean that we have to eat it all today. Just because we live in a world of abundance of finances doesn't mean we have to get it all today. But we also live in a world of abundance of opportunity. So part of going to the Wynn Buffet is being able to look at 10 feet of desserts and say, wow, those all look amazing. But today, I'm just going to eat that one thing, the banana cream pie. I'm going to have that. And I realized that I could have all of them. They are all available to me. But today, I am going to choose this. I think sometimes when we say no, we see it as this very negative versus, and I love these words, this is not for me right now. One, or this doesn't work for me, right? So sometimes there's an opportunity, but the opportunity might be in Alaska. I'm in Indiana, and they're like, but Sean, it's such a great opportunity. And I have to be able to say it's a great opportunity, but it doesn't work for me. And that doesn't make the opportunity wrong. It doesn't make the opportunity bad. It doesn't make anybody wrong. It just means it works or it doesn't work for me.
Well, it's the concept. I think a lot of people have difficulty leaning into the perspective, me included at times, of no can actually mean not yet. No is not a definitive. It's not an end. It's not a stopping point. I think so many people inherently feel as if they say no, it's going to completely close the door. But with your buffet analogy, you're saying no to that particular item. It still exists on the buffet. Like you can still go back and have it at any time.
I have a commentary of what you guys talked about, which is an interesting thing that I've realized is that in this perspective that I have, that I'm trying to be at ease, because when I'm at ease, I'm taking advantage of abundance. I'm taking advantage of this life source that professionally you guys know better than I do, this omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing, healing power. And a lot of times people do things that they believe would put them at ease, but it creates more dis-ease. And so, for example, I know people that have very strict diets. So they'll go to that buffet and they will only eat the exact same thing, one sliver of the buffet, but yet it causes so much dis-ease, more than eating some of the foods would have caused.
Right.
And then I know people that go to Napa for the weekend, and they don't get themselves book solid, meaning having a construct of, hey, my goal is to be at ease here. So there needs to be this combination of, you know what, I'm going to still work out. I'm going to still maybe spend less time, but I'm still going to do 4 coaching calls, and I'm still going to do my IG live because that puts me at ease.
Mm-hmm.
And am I going to go ahead and do all the other things and talk to all my employees? No, I'm going to enjoy my friends that are going to be there, and I'm going to enjoy some wine, and I'm going to enjoy my wife, and I'm going to enjoy the weather. But I think it's really important that do an analysis. I use Goggins as an example, right? Like that guy puts himself at such dis-ease, and in his genetics handles a lot more than most people can physically. But if people took it like they took my schedule and said, oh, in order to be successful, I have to be like David Meltzer or David Goggins. I have to schedule everything like David Meltzer does down to 5 minutes a day. Well, that may literally put you at such disease that it'll hospitalize you if you have my schedule. And if I know if I had the physical schedule of Goggins, it would absolutely put me in the hospital. And so we need to personalize, although this seems to put me at ease, going on vacation, is it actually putting me at dis-ease, or is my diet putting me at dis-ease, or is my physical activity putting me at dis-ease? And it's a really neat nuance for people to realize how we can be productive, accessible, and gracious and enjoy our lives in this calm delight that is harmonious. And those are the words that I have been living by. I want to live in a calm delight and harmonious, not balanced.
Oh, but I gotta ask you both.
So my lessons with Lacey.
I gotta ask you both this question though. I mean, as Dave is talking about this, like there are some things that can put you at ease.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing some people, maybe they're sitting next to their spouse and they're like, yeah, that's why I always have my phone. Because even when I'm at the dinner table, I got to check my phone because that puts me at ease. That's why when I come home, I always have to have a drink because it puts me at ease. How do we make sure that we're not using this construct as a crutch and actually doing ourselves harm and just making excuses for some maybe even potentially addictive behaviors?
Well,
I think it's important. Oh, go ahead, Lacey. Sorry.
Well,
I saw you. I told Lacey you better show up, and then I don't let her talk.
I try to show up, and you just
what the fuck?
Dilute my ideas. No, I think that there's a difference between ease and numbing, right? And I think a lot of people utilize certain things in life to numb a situation or dilute a situation or avoid a situation. There's avoidance behavior and there's behavior that puts you in a state of ease. And I think that we all know what behaviors that we have that are avoidant behaviors. It's just a matter of, are you willing to acknowledge those? And I think acknowledgement is first. We're smart human beings and we all have those crutches. And I think they're very, very different. So you have to ask yourself, is this behavior that I'm utilizing all the time, this thing that I'm telling myself I need to do, is it a true necessity to put me in a state of ease? Or is it a necessity to avoid something else that I'm trying to resist, right? And I just think it starts with analyzing and looking at all of the things that you're doing and asking yourself what category that they go in.
Yeah, and being at ease doesn't mean easy.
Easy, right.
It doesn't mean easy. And two, I think what helps to distinguish an avoidance or numbing is this in alignment with where I want to be or better? So if my objective is to have and be present with my family, is putting myself at ease by using my phone in alignment with that primary or non-negotiable objective. If my objective is to live a long time, is it aligned to have one glass of wine? I would say yes. Is it aligned to drink a whole bottle of Grey Goose vodka every night? I would suggest no, unless genetically you're a freak, which could happen. Like David Goggins is genetically a freak and he does shit that other people should not do. And I think that alignment is really important,
Mm.
and also understanding the moderation side. I really think that, it's important to enjoy, have that calm delight of that moderation, and in knowing where you can't moderate things. Like nicotine for me is a drug that I can't moderate.
Mhm.
There's some really powerful drugs that I can. And I've made that decision not to do it because of the aggregate effect of where I want to be or better. But I know that it won't kill me, and it would kill other people. Where nicotine, people can take one. Right now, I haven't used nicotine. I used to chew tobacco for over 17 years. But I know when I'm on a golf course and the guy has chewing tobacco, the minute I take that I'll be driving to the gas station, even after all those years. And so where you want to be or better is an important question to ask.
And I love your analogy about the diet, because being in healthcare, I've utilized that with so many patients over the years. You really need to assess also, doing these things, do they cause me more stress? Do they cause me more harm than good, right? Even if the intention behind it is good. And I think that a lot of times we get sucked into things that aren't necessarily right for us, with the intention that they are going to benefit us in some way, and often prolong how long we do them, because we haven't sat down and said, is the other negative impact of how I feel about this, how I'm obsessing about this, how I'm stressing about this, is that actually worse for me than the potential benefits of doing it, right? And I think that those are one of the most difficult things for us to look at, especially when externally our friend group, society, whatever it may be, is telling us it's the right thing to do. So I want to go back to the lesson that David talked about, because I talk about that all the time. It's harmony, not balance. And oftentimes we're doing things that put us in a state of dis-ease in an effort to achieve what we believe is balance, instead of saying, does this work harmoniously with all of the other things that I'm doing, which ultimately means, are they all in alignment, right?
Well, this would be a good time to just remind everybody that you can catch the three of us live in the flesh in Las Vegas coming up here Thursday. We will be at the Palazzo. Plenty of activity going on. If you would like to join us, hit us up. We have our email addresses right down here below. Let us know. We're going to be having a podcast experience. We will also be having a VIP dinner that evening. It's always fantastic to get together, break bread in person. Yes, lives are great. In person is like 138 times better. So hit us up if you'd like to join us in Vegas. You may be just a short flight away or a car ride away, or maybe you're in Las Vegas. No excuses. Come out and spend some time with us. We would love to shake your hand, meet you, and most importantly, see how we can help you further your journey towards getting book solid. We would love to be a resource for that. So hit us up. We would love to have you come along. What are you excited about? Oh, go ahead, Dave.
I was going to add one thing. We also have a special guest coming, one of my favorite entrepreneurs and football players, Sean Merriman, Lights Out. And he has a really interesting story about his brand and Nike and dealing with big companies and IP. To show you how booked I am, you guys probably don't even know this, but Friday, we are all launching, Sean, Lacey, and I, episode number 1 of season 6 of Office Hours, which we filmed in our SiriusXM studios. And so the next 12 episodes are all prepared. You will see them on Apple TV streaming, Reach TV at airports and hotel rooms. I love when I go to the gate and I see there's just, for whatever reason, they love an episode with Lacey and I, and we're always at the airport, which is really cool. But I think, it's so funny when we go through and list things. I tested Nick and I said, hey, can you tell everyone what's going on, and I'll supplement, because I know you won't do it right. And I can't do it right. It's that booked yourself solid. And I know the perception of that, but it fits right into what we're talking about, that I completely forgot that I'm launching my own TV show with you guys, season 6. So check it out on Apple and Reach.
I absolutely love that. Well, we can't wait to see you here very soon. I hope that people will connect with us. One last thing, in the context of all of this that we've been discussing, and is what an odd thing to discuss here on this particular show, but can getting booked solid also be that thing that is sort of your crutch, right? That thing that you like kind of disconnect, and that maybe your pursuit of getting book solid or actually being book solid is sort of it's almost like your bottle of Grey Goose or your chewing tobacco, your addiction. It's the thing that you run to escape from all of these things. And there are some people that are really good at sales. They get themselves book solid. Then they love to just go and throw themselves at a full calendar so that they can escape what's going on at home or themselves. Or is that possible that they're using getting book solid as a crutch?
Absolutely. And I, have even experienced myself where you get so busy, you forget to make money. You get so busy, you forget to be a dad. You get so busy. And so if you're getting book solid to be busy, that's different. And that's where the distinction of non-negotiables and negotiables come into me. I believe you need that variant behavior. And I think people misinterpret some of the things about getting book solid, whether it's taught by me or others, that it is this addiction to just being active and busy, instead of understanding that getting book solid includes booking yourself into unplanned time. It's being attentional and intentional about the 24 hours that you've been given. And so 7 hours of sleep is my first step of being book solid. That changes the entire perspective. Then there's about another 3 hours of non-negotiable, usually non-activity that I don't get paid for. So there's 10 hours already that I'm book solid every day that has nothing to do with any appointment setting. Not one thing in that 10 hours. It's all in the context of recovery and access and exponentiality of what's important to me. So then the variant behavior is what most people see of, oh, I got to book that 14 hours solid. There's still a ton of fun things that you do. Now, that's how I break it down. But I think it's important what you're saying, Sean. Is it a crutch? Is it an addiction? Now, I know I'm addicted to time. And, that is my addiction. And I have to fight, timing myself when I, travel and obsessing on 3 minutes of time and not letting people go to the bathroom when we get off the plane or when we're driving. Like, that's the sickness that I have, but it's much more healthy of an addiction than cocaine or alcohol or nicotine.
But I also think, to wrap this all up, it's so important, like we talked about, to figure out what getting book solid means for you, right? What state of harmony looks like for you. Because for one person, maybe getting book solid is an 8-hour day. For somebody else, it might be a 12-hour day. And really, it really comes down to the quality of what you're doing with those hours, not the quantity of what you're doing with those hours. The whole idea of Get Book Solid is that you're filling your calendar with things that bring you joy and happiness and fill you up, right? That's what really this is all about. So really, again, analyzing, is this serving me in the way that I had intended? And if not, how can I change my calendar to create more harmony in my life instead of this elusive balance?
I love it. All right, everybody.
Well, I got to add one thing. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm not going to let you go. So it's so funny because people were like, why the F are you doing this show at 5:30 in the morning before you're filming today, tomorrow, Thursday, and launching your TV show Friday? But for me, you nailed it, Lacey. It's like, so people will go wake up early to play golf because they enjoy it.
Right.
Like, try to get Miles up for anything but golf and football at 5 in the morning. It's not happening. But for me, this is my golf, which is why I wanted you here, because it's like, I have so many people in my life that this is, for me, an opportunity to see my, two best friends hang out, like, have a conversation that I'd like to have at dinner anyway, and then also let other people hear our conversation, sit in, being a fly on the wall. And so it is something that makes me, just like for other people getting up early to go play golf at Banyan Dunes when they'll never get up to do other things. For me, this was like, I was up and super excited to do this. This isn't taking away my energy, it's giving me energy. And I think that's that personal harmony. Not everybody would get that harmony. Maybe they're up right now playing golf, and that's part of getting booked solid for the sake of harmony, joy, a calm delight, whatever you define as important to you. So I just want to thank you guys for allowing me to start off a day that has a lot of activity and a lot of personal dis-ease that isn't normally there. And to start my day with this and you two is, I think, a perfect example of how I am book solid and why I am book solid. Other people be, completely at dis-ease. Both of you put me at ease and inspire me. And now I'm even looking forward to seeing you in person even more.
Us too.
Let's see, right there. Scan that QR code, get a free copy of David's book. Hey, there is a Facebook group, if you're on Facebook, called Get Book Solid. Join us in there. Plug in with us. We want to serve as a resource to you. We want to help you to reach more people, to make an even bigger impact, and of course, along the way, to create the lifestyle of your dreams. Thank you, David. Thank you, Lacey. And thank you for joining us here on the show. We'll do it again next week. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to